Man, what's up, YouTube, man? It's your boy Game Like Will, man. Back with another video. Listen, I'm about to give y'all so much game. If you're even remotely a feminist, you're gonna want to my whole channel taken down because all the guys gonna feel me on this. You feel me? All right, listen. So your masculinity, right? Never had this before, bro. Your masculinity is so important, but nowadays they don't want you to know how important your masculinity is. So, ever since like the 90s, people were raised almost to be totally against their masculinity in a sense. So, like, masculinity is here, freedom is here. So, just to set y'all free, think about it like this at all times in your life, especially y'all around 16, well, 18, 19, anywhere from 18 to 40. If you're watching this video, your masculinity is directly correlated to your freedom. So people be like, oh, you know what? You know, I want to grow older. I want to start a family. I want to have kids and stuff. Yeah, that's masculine because you decided to make that move, right? You decided to do that. You know what I'm saying? It came from you and you alone. If somebody is putting some type of like battery in your back to do something, like I said, even if it's television, I mean, I don't care who it is, you lose masculinity points. You lose masculinity points. And when I talk about masculinity points, I'm talking about, that feeling when you do some real man shit and it has nothing to do with proving nothing to nobody. It has everything to do with, see, true masculinity to me is from consumer, it's from buyer to consumer. There's no middleman. There's no, oh, Will, you should go do this with your life. Oh, Will, you should go do that with your life. Oh, Will, you should start another YouTube channel. Oh, Will, you should, you know, being a lone wolf means 98 to 99% of my decisions, if not 100. Sometimes you making 100 decisions in your life, 100%. You let one friend come in or you let one female come in and they give you a little piece of advice and they don't even got nothing to do with you. It's like, well, we should do this. Sometimes the devil will pose that way too. You know, I, I'm just too wise with this shit. The devil will say, we should do this. We should come together. We should build this. And if you're not on point, you will do what? Sign that dotted line in the spiritual way by saying, yeah, I agree, we should do that, or let's do that, or da da da. Because guess what? You're green, you're naive, you're a nice person, or a female starts telling you, what I'm saying, I think you should wear this, or I think you should go here, or shame on you. You try to get me and my sister, the stuff that made you masculine, right? And what I found out is people get true joy out of changing or challenging masculinity. You know what I'm saying? And this shit been happening since I was young, even with like little kids will come and try to like fake fight you because they know that you're tougher than them. So they'll just be like, let me see if I can move him. You know, even my niece one time just trying to fight me and I'm just like, man, like what's going on with you? Like, you can't beat me up, but femininity always want to challenge masculinity. And a lot of the guys are not fully really masculine. So you'll notice that they want to go head up with you just because they see that you have qualities or some shit. And this channel is really geared towards masculinity, mastery of self-esteem, confidence, and all this stuff that you don't really see too often unless nowadays it's either you see a real man or you see something else. You don't really see people working on themselves to become it because they're typically going to be off camera in the gym or doing some self improvement shit on the back end. You don't really see those guys like that. You feel me? But it's typically like if you go to the store or store run, you'll see a real man or you'll see something else. You know, something else, something in between somewhere else. But most of the self improvement guys are either red pill or these guys. And but it's funny if you spend like 3 months just working on yourself, improvement, you'll naturally become more masculine because there's nothing in between you and the finish line or the goal. Um, which is funny. And it's not so much I'm concerned about masculinity as I'm concerned about or that you can't have masculinity or um, then I'm concerned about you allowing people to strip you of it once you get it. Um, and it's typically going to be people closest to you. Like it's going to be them first, and then everybody else second. It doesn't matter who comes second because as soon as it could be a animal after the first person to fuck up your masculinity or move it or change it or dilute it or whatever they do. It don't matter what creature come next. They're gonna smell weakness. And I don't give a fuck who. Like I said, my own niece, my little cute little niece. Like it doesn't matter. People want to challenge it, and they're hardwired to kind of base their strength or their um because people get antsy, and I noticed this even when I was young because I just observed shit. Right? I used to be real quiet, so I used to observe a lot. The people get anxiety and people have antsy issues and ADHD and shit. And I'm not talking about specific, but like a lot more people have it than you may think. And claustrophobia and these little unchecked little things, right? And people naturally want to, like I said, they it's something inside of them that says, if I could challenge him, or if I could, talk shit to him and get away with it, or if I could do this, it's just it's almost like innate, you know what I'm saying? Even with me when I was younger, if I had an older cousin or somebody who was the cool guy or the smooth guy, I'd be like, okay, I can't wait to say this joke to him to see if it hit. And then if it hit, if people laughing, then I'm gonna keep coming at him because I'm just testing them right now. It's just his time to be tested. And sometimes you don't even know what you're doing, that you're doing that until that person either um wins that war with you or they just leave it alone, whatever way they choose. But if they show like I'm older than you, because I mastered talking shit or whatever, then it puts you in your place, inevitably. But yeah, I say all this, man, to say like don't let no women like destroy y'all. Like, you feel me? Like, while y'all on this journey, you know what I'm saying? And y'all are on this self improvement shit, this masculinity shit, or whatever you want to call it. Just be relentless. Be I don't know if that's the right word, but just be ruthless. Like don't give away your power. It's so easy to do it that you won't believe it, right? Because we live in the matrix, and I don't want that to go over your head because you heard it before. So anything you heard in the past and you still haven't changed, guess what? That will to change get weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker as what the years go on. Then you have someone like me or Andrew Tate or some shit in the Matrix saying, "Nah, bro, don't drop, don't wait, hold on, hold your horses." You know what I'm saying? It's real easy for you to win when you're alone. Most self improvement starts when you're alone. But when you usher yourself back into society around groups of people by the twos, by the threes, by the fours, by the fives, social circles is what we call them, little pods of people. It's easy for you to say, man, Jessica can't talk crazy to me, but my friend Jack, if Jessica and Jack kind of combine and then Jack say something and challenge me, and then it's easy to not like stand on your principles with Jack because Jack is the bro. So you're like, well, I don't want to offend Jack and Jessica, and risk being kicked from the circle or But that's why I say being the bad guy or being the asshole means that you're sacrificial in nature. And it just really means that you honestly don't give a fuck. And you know what's crazy is like that's why a lot of guys don't get no pussy. Like and I hate to, just be like that on YouTube, but this is a grown man channel. And it's like, I talked about breaking rapport yesterday, and that's exactly what this message is really about for real. Because it's so easy once the rapport starts to get built, especially if y'all don't got a lot of friends and shit like that. It's so easy for you to fall into letting someone else be the leader or even competing with your leadership. You know what I'm saying? When you're alone, you're the leader. Even if you're being weak, soft, but you're still the leader because you're alone. Nobody's there to arm wrestle you, so to speak. But it's like when you start to get around bigger groups of people, that's when the game is on. And that's when you have to actually ask yourself, like, you know, am I gonna tolerate being second in this social circle? If because like I told you, people will for survival reasons click up and link up. But you may just be some like random to them, but you're cool though. And that's why you got to understand that. Like, see, me, this is why life is about value. This is why people always in the social circle world, they always talk about add value, add value, add value, add value. That's the secret in the sauce because if you're truly doing that shit, this is why people say work on yourself before you go get women, work on yourself before you go meet friends. I finally see it in real time because if you only are bringing yourself, yeah, people gonna be like, yo, he's cool. I fuck with him. But as soon as that survival shit kick in, where they're like, oh, this is my brother or this is my uncle, or especially that like family shit, or just people will tag team. Like, you feel me? This happens even in like inside of your family dynamic. You know what I'm saying? If you disrespect grandma, then auntie and mom and sis gonna all kind of like beehive that shit up. But what I'm saying is like even a couple of the guys, right? Because they could know you right, but they still gonna stand on that territory just because they're like, I don't want to piss them off because then it's gonna make me look bad and then this and that. So when it comes to standing on principles and masculinity, they're like twins. It's like you can't have one without the other. You know what I mean? You can't have, once you give in, so to speak, to somebody else's ideology or idea, you naturally lose or weaken the integrity of your square. There's no way to not do it. And then you can't tell somebody, oh, I'm not weak if they just proved you to be that. So then they're just going to challenge you over and over again. And then you're going to be mad because you can't win. So the best bet is to always be prepared for a frame battle, so to speak, or because I remember being young, it could get physical real quick, but now that we're older, it typically be verbal. If especially if you're very, that's why we bring up having a mouthpiece and just being able to jibber jabber, man. You got to be able to verbal judo. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be slick with the tongue because you got to understand it's a weapon. That's what guys don't typically lace that together like it's a weapon. Like you can't let somebody. You just got to have real social dynamics. RSD, like that. That's the perfect uh, acronym that they use because you could be the attractive guy and all that, and get around somebody else, and then that guy be smashing the girls instead of you because he made you seem like you wasn't the big dog. But what I'm saying is, I try my hardest to not be petty in these areas of life, but you kind of gotta be because the streets get like that. Like, and when I say the streets, just outside, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's really a dog eat dog world. So, a guy smash your girl, you might not even would smash your girl, friend or not. Got no, you just don't got the inkling to go do that. Like I've been like that all my life. Like I didn't have the inkling to go do that, but at the same time, it's like I'm a man. So it can happen too. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? You don't know what you're capable of if you're not really dealt that situation too much, you know? But I like the little pulp inside the the coconut pulp inside the water. Something about being able to chew the pulp while you drink the juice. But yeah, your masculinity is super tied to your ego, and your ego is super tied to your confidence. And your confidence is super tied to your a couple of things really, but one thing I want to point out is just your skill. If I know I could fight, Andrew Tate always makes these points. I don't want to reference him every video, but this is a video where I kind of agree with the man. Learn how to fight. You know what I'm saying? Because no matter how much a guy talking shit or thinking he this or that, or even females, like even a female, like she could talk shit, but if she know you're good for it, meaning like, okay, I protect you from other guys, or you talking shit to me, I protect you from other guys, then she gonna feel like, okay, let me just test them a little bit, but let me cut that shit out because not because he gonna whip my ass, but because he good for it. You know what I mean? Like he not no sucker, so I'm just being, being catty, but he's not really gonna stoop down to my level. Now, same thing with other guys. They need to know that you're not soft. And that's the issue, right? That's really the biggest issue with life because how would people know if you don't beat the shit out of somebody? You know, we live in such a ravenous world right now. After Chief Keef, the Chief Keef era changed everything because people are no longer fighting. So it's like your masculinity, if you were even a little bit soft back then, you're probably really soft now. But or you got, as a man it's smart to really learn things. But again, your masculinity is tied to that. Cause even if you go to the gym, a lot of y'all say I like to go to the gym, right? Even if y'all go to the gym, I used to be in the edge, I used to be bro, a lot of stocky guys walking around. They're nice people, but I'm just saying, if you get into it with one of them, you're gonna totally get bitched if you don't got no faith in your hands, or if you don't got no de-escalation skills. You're totally gonna ruin your whole month and year probably. If not the half of the year, it's gonna ruin that night in a couple weeks to a month or two months. You're gonna be like, man, I don't want to go to the gym. What if I run into that guy? See, and that's where the bedrock of masculinity is and where it's lost, because a lot of guys don't even want to, even if they work on their muscles, they still don't want no smoke. But I'm not telling guys to just jump out there and be like that, but I'm just saying, because there's masculine guys who um don't get into a lot of fights. But it's natural that when you start lifting weights and punching the bag and just doing things, being more active, it's natural that you're gonna, man, move, man, watch out. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna naturally be like, what you gonna do? You're gonna naturally get that thought, like, what is he gonna do? Not saying he can't whoop my ass, but you're still gonna do it because you're gonna be like, man, I'm not gonna get beat up as much as I would have had I been a fucking twig, right? So it's like your masculinity certainly tied to that. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget that. Freedom, masculinity, twins. That's why you work on yourself, because you want freedom, right? Freedom naturally showcases the masculinity in you. That's where the word stallion comes from. That's why these women act masculine, stallion, because they're like a wild ass horse, free. No one has tamed it, right? That's why a big part of y'all can't even think about rejection until you think about respect first. If she don't, women don't even respect guys nowadays, so a lot of y'all get rejected just by default. That's why the indirect game is so important, because you might have to neg a chick for 2 days straight for her to realize that, you could give a fuck if she dropped off the planet. You know what I mean? No funny shit. The game is mental, because sometimes they just don't get it. They think they shit don't stink. And this isn't trying to be funny, but they do it to us all the time. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. But as far as your masculinity, is definitely tied to a lot of different things, man. It's tied to freedom. It's tied to, okay, do you know how to breathe first? Breathe. I always talk about breath work. Box breathing. Breathe 4 4 4. Breathe in for 4. Hold it for 4. Out 4. Stop for 4. Changing my whole physiology, right? Because testosterone is in the legs. Somebody taught me that when I was at school. We had a gym in the school, like a weight gym thing, and this diesel Spanish guy was like, "Yo, you working on your legs?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah." He was like, "Yo, that's where all the testosterone is." Da, da, da. I'm like, "For real? Oh shit." And he was a stocky Spanish. He used to play the guitar and shit. And it was funny because he taught me something that quick. And I've been knew it though. Like I remember, bro. I could tell you many stories about that. When you play baseball, it's your legs. It's your legs, right? When you throw a punch, it's your legs. It's your legs that really pack that punch. It's not just because if you're punching from your arms, you're throwing some like wild ass punches, but I mean they hurt too, but they're not knockout punches. You come from down here, them jabs will fuck your whole shit up. But I'm just saying, right? Learn 52 blocks. Type in 52 blocks on YouTube. Protect yourself. Because women like masculinity. And this is why guys who get girls get more girls. And then multiplies. They don't, women don't be like, oh, you gotta choose me or nothing. They be like, I hope you choose me because I know you got other females. So the math equation is different. And that's what people got to understand. And I always talk and I reference the jock at high school. The jock at high school wasn't weak. The jock at high school wasn't weak. Let me remind y'all, he was a total asshole, not just because he had a mouthpiece and got girls. He was masculine, meaning athletic, and understood that I'll dig in anybody's chest if it really come down to it. And I think a lot of guys forget that. You know what I mean? They forget that, man, because you're so removed from that time period in your life. But masculinity is so important, and it means many different things. It and you will fall into femininity and arguments and things that you don't need no business being around if you don't subscribe to this channel and lock the fuck in. Because there's many different dimensions to everything. And I like to hit on the shadowy parts that you might be missing, because you don't just go punching a punching bag once. You don't just go, to the gym once. Masculinity is a practice. It's something you can work on. You know what I mean? So it's like someone to see you being masculine and they'll fuck around and start competing with you, like I said, because it's a frame battle. Power versus power. I mean, the challenge could come from anywhere. But just you're supposed to question yourself before you get into that match. Like, how am I going to respond if Buddy act this way or Buddy say this, or What if I'm chilling at a diner and somebody just says something funny, just trying to be funny? How am I going to act? How am I going to respond to that? You don't need to act tough because that's not even always the answer. You don't lose masculinity all the time, but you better believe if a girl's sitting right here and somebody check you or challenge you and you don't say nothing, that she gonna question you. And most guys would be like, man, oh well, that's on her. Well, I respect that if that's what you really truly believe, but deep down, you wouldn't be hanging with her and trying to crush if it was that. Now I'm not saying jump out the window for no female, but I'm just saying, you know what the fuck I'm saying. If the best thing you could do is say something back, but something funny. Say something funny. De-escalate that shit, but also let them know like I'm a threat. I'm a fucking verbal threat. Don't say nothing to me. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start teasing you for the rest of the day. You want to be funny? I'm gonna be hilarious. Not because I'm petty, but because I'm on your ass. You feel me? I'm just saying that's how guys handle situations. They make light of every situation. You know what I mean? It's an energy. It's just an energy. It's not meant to go to that level, but you still gotta check people too. I think that time era is different now. Some people still know, but a lot of people forgot. Now don't go around after you click off this video just checking everybody in your household. But just understand that okay, you got to get better at observing like did I just get tested or was it just a what was that? Because women don't like dumbasses. So if you got tested and it just go right by you, you're dumbass. You're blind. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like someone punch you in your jaw and then you just be like, oh well, shit, babe, I don't know what that was. It just. But that's how guys move nowadays, because they honestly and sincerely don't even want to consider that they're going to war with anything, right? It's funner to eat Chipotle, lay down, and play games and shit. But no risk, no reward. Masculinity is built on war. It's built on gravity and weight. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's built on havoc. Like not havoc, but like the willingness to understand like I'm not fucking around with this shit. Like standards, like I said, standards, boundaries, and shit like that. This world will eat you alive if you don't read between the lines in certain situations. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we must practice this. We must practice awareness because fuck the woman. You just want other men to respect you first. I mean, the women is gonna naturally gravitate to whoever got the most power just off the bat. It doesn't even matter. But it's the other guys who may challenge you first because they don't understand. They don't understand that you're a man of principle or loyalty or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And they think you fucking playing around and you're not playing around. See, that's the difference. When we talk about the bad boy, right? Some people just playing around with life. Like I've been playing around with life for some years. People always knew I was kind of serious though. They knew I wasn't just no super. I would laugh a lot, but it was a certain seriousness. But when you develop a purpose in life, it gets even worse because you're like, okay, you get like this supernatural power. Like I said, you'll dig in somebody's chest because you're like, yo, you either in or you out. Now I don't got time to fuck around. You're what they call it, no nonsense. That's what women draw close to quickly because they already know that, like I said, like you're a bulldozer. You know what I mean? You're not a bully, you're a bulldozer. You're not a bully, you're just a bulldozer. Those are two different things. See, bullies, they're not cool because they're just doing it just to do it. Like, they're doing it from some wounded shit. But a bulldozer is a man. Like, he understands gravity. Like, yo, all my energy is going this way. If anybody get in the way, I gotta do something. Because I can't change this direction without looking like a bitch. And he understands it. He gets it. That's what makes him unshakable because he's like, I gotta still go, even if whatever happens, I gotta still go this way with this shit. That's masculinity, in my opinion, if I could define it. It's a person who cut off from changing direction to the point where other people naturally follow him because they understand that he's not doing it from a place of woundedness. He's not doing it from the same place 98% of guys are doing it from. Most guys want to be the leader because they can't trust following other people, so they just want to be the leader because it feels safer to be in control of your life. Like a woman. Women think like that. But men, especially healed men, they think like, okay, I could trust another man, but it's like I'm so busy, like I said, with my purpose and working on myself, that why would I take that risk when I'm already working on certain shit? Now we can collaborate and do business together, but I'm not going to abandon any of my core values whatsoever. We're going to talk more about this in another video. This video has been a nice one, going on 33 minutes. Let me know down below if you have any different opinions of what masculinity is and where it comes from and how can you protect it, work on it, cultivate it, keep it. Don't let, and my piece of advice that I really wanted to get before I turn this camera on, don't let women kind of seep in and start telling you stuff like, oh, you got to cut off all your holes or you got to do this, you got to do that. I think that's the beginning of the end. You know what I mean? Because it's one thing for another man to challenge you, get over that. Y'all are two men. Somebody gonna win this war, right? But when it comes to women, it's like they got no business coaching anybody. Now, if they got some spiritual information, if they want to talk about healing vibrations and they want to talk about fixing your wounded things and stuff like that, that's cool. But when it comes to like them manipulating you into a relationship or saying anything to like guilt trip you or shame you, that's how you build a bitch. Buildabitch.com. Build a bitch. So yeah, we ain't having that. So watch out for that, fellas, because you know a girl will come back and spin the block. If you don't let her have her way, you would think that she's gonna just leave you and shit. Like, oh, she could just find some other D. They don't want no other. That's where you fuck up, other D. Cause nobody's that special. Nobody. Nobody's special. Only the guy who doesn't care. He's special. He's special. Oh shit, I haven't been 94. Oh shit. Who is this guy? This fucking guy. So the chick, if you so you got then you'll start turning down a lot of shit. It's about knowing thyself, about masculinity and lose because women understand their femininity and how to manipulate femininity and your masculinity, how to be a leader with your masculinity. So you is played on, but her weaknesses are never being played on. You lose automatically. So it's very important, man. I'm about to get out of the boy game like Will, man. Drinking this coconut juice, man. Had to get one video up, man, for the just my point of views on it, man. Y'all gonna do what y'all want to do, but you know, women like real strong shit. So like this, I think this message is really strong, and don't compromise on it because they don't respect the shit they tell you that they want. So they tell you what they want, just do the opposite. I'm out, man. See y'all in the next video.